Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining us for the discussion over week 2 of our series titled Fresh. Today we are looking at a fresh perspective. The scripture that we're studying is Numbers 13 and 14, where the 12 spies are sent into the land of Canaan to get a report of it. And so if you haven't read that yet, maybe you can press pause right now, and as a group you can read those sections of scripture. And then once you've done that, first kind of fun discussion question. I don't know if all the teaching pastors hit it on the campuses, at least on the campus I was on. I started my sermon with talking about, you ever had a movie that someone highly recommended to you, and then you went and watched it and you thought it was terrible? And why don't you share that movie, that experience with your group? Those are always funny to talk about. And then moving on from there, after you've kind of started off your discussion with that fun little thing, next in our message, we talked about how whenever the 10 spies who gave the bad report, that they said, yeah, the land is great. It's exactly what God said it is. However, and we said, pay attention to the howevers in your life. I wonder if you'd be willing to open up and talk about a few times in your life where you felt kind of the nudging of God, the call of God on your heart, and yet you responded with a however, like fear, like uncertainty. Maybe you never even followed through with it because you were scared. And so if you wouldn't mind sharing some of those times with your group. And then the main idea really of this message today, what we are hoping for all of our people, is that moving forward, that we would live our lives informed not only by what we see, but what God says. Our declaration at the end of the message is, God, I want to live my life by what you say, not what I see. And so talk about that. Why don't you share with your group? Have there been some times where what you felt God leading you to do didn't make sense to yourself or make sense to other people, but you knew that's what God was calling you to, and so you walked through in obedience with it? Didn't know how it was going to turn out, but you just knew that you needed to follow God. And I think that would make some great conversation in your group if you would share those things. So hopefully someone's taking notes to write down some of these questions. Hope you guys have a great discussion time. This time you're spending with one another, it is sacred before God. Hope it's a blessing to you. We'll see you soon.